Hello and welcome. I'm Tom with East Coast Yacht Sales, and today I'm coming to you from 1957. Or am I? We'll find out as we go stem to stern on this 1957 Rybovich 44 Custom Flybridge. So let's give a little context on this boat. When this boat was built by Rybovich back in 1957, Dwight Eisenhower was president. We had a booming post-wartime economy and everybody was driving around in ridiculously large finned automobiles. It was a pretty good time to be an American. And if you were really lucky, you could get to own something like this. For back then, the princely sum of $5,500, Rybovich would build you a 44-foot custom flybridge sportfish boat. This boat in particular is only a two-owner boat. In the entire 60-something years of the boat being around, the current owner has owned it for nearly 45 years, and under his stewardship has made a ton of upgrades. And that's what I was talking about when I said, welcome to 1957, but only sort of. So this boat was originally built with oak framing and mahogany planking. However, back in the 80s, down in Florida, the entire hull was fiberglassed over. Which means that you get all the benefits of a wooden boat, meaning low vibration, low noise, nice soft ride, but with all the reduced maintenance requirements of a fiberglass boat. So this boat currently has all craft paint on it, and it's good for, you know, like any normal boat, 10-15 years in between recoats. And this boat was done correctly, where they let it sit on the hard, get really good and dry, stripped absolutely everything off of it, and then glassed the boat with a structural layer and a matte layer to reduce print through. Other big upgrade on this boat, and I'll get to it in a little bit, is the engines. This boat was originally powered with a pair of Chrysler 440s, which is more or less what you would have seen in 1960s Mopar muscle cars. We'll go down and check the engine room in a minute. Interesting fun fact on this boat, the original owner of the boat was in the petroleum industry and was a portly fellow. And Rybovich didn't have the heart to tell him that, so without asking, they just made his chair about 6 inches wider than all the standard chairs. Which kind of future-proofs the boat if you think about it, because generally speaking as a species, we're not getting any skinnier. As you can see on the aft deck here, we have beautiful teak decking that's in really nice shape. You have a beautiful teak cap rail, and again, nice teak ladder up to the flybridge. So let's work our way inside, and then we'll go check out the flybridge afterwards. As you come into the main salon, you can see it's a lovely wide open space. You have the L-shaped settee, beautiful varnished mahogany coffee table. You have storage to port and starboard. These are sliding doors right here that come all the way closed. Underneath here, and in fact underneath all of the carpeting on board is the original wood. If you look under here, you can see the original parquet flooring, which is in really good shape, and down below it's actually the original resin stabilized cork. Off to this side right here, you have your breaker panel, nice easy access for everything you might need. This boat runs on two 30-amp short cords. We head down below through the companionway. You can see we have a long galley here with an electric cooktop and oven, and you also have a fridge and microwave. To port, you have a stateroom here with bunks above and below. So you have your upper bunk, lower bunk, tons of storage, big hanging locker in here, and then forward of that you have the one head on board, and that has an electric flushing freshwater head, sink, separate shower stall, and so you have an access from the stateroom as well as from out here in the galley. Up forward you have another stateroom. The bunks are admittedly a little high. I'd probably make this the grandkids' bedroom. Really neat, cool, old school wooden boat features that you don't see on modern boats. These are fabricated hatches. They're not made by Bomar, Lumar, or anybody like that. But you also have varnished mahogany sliding screens to keep the bugs out while you're at anchor. You have storage again all the way around here, all the way under here, with the nice little fish motif throughout. So let's head back outside and head up to the flybridge. All right, welcome to the flybridge. This is another one of the really trick custom features that this owner has upgraded in his stewardship of the boat. When this boat was original, the flybridge was actually extremely small, and that's because back in the 1950s when this boat was built, it was fairly common that if you could afford to have this type of boat, you could also afford to have a captain and first mate to drive it for you. So it was kind of a reverse of Downton Abbey, upstairs, downstairs. The crew and staff would stay up here out of sight, while the owner and his guests could stay downstairs and fish and eat charcuterie and wine and whatever else they wanted to do. Of course, nowadays we don't drive boats like that. This is well within the realm of the owner-operator category. So one of the big upgrades, as I mentioned, was that the owner took the boat back to Rybovich and made this flybridge much bigger. When the boat was first built, it basically ended right in front of the steering column here. What he did is enlarged it, brought it forward, put in this nice big wraparound settee, and put in a nice helm chair. Another thing I want to bring attention to is just how beautifully simple the dashes are on this boat. We have obviously the one here on the flybridge, and then you have the one down below by the fighting station for backing down onto fish. But it's just a simple steering wheel, a couple of throttles, and a handful of gauges. Modern boats, you have just a sea of electronics, and it's just a discordant mess. This is just really lovely and beautiful and timeless. This is the type of boat you don't buy it for the electronics. You buy it because it has the look and it has the provenance. So, you know, it's, again, I think it's really, really cool. And, well, let's move on downstairs and we'll go check out the engine room and then we'll finish it up, all right? Well, welcome to the beating heart and jewelry box of this boat. As I mentioned before, this boat was originally powered by a pair of Chrysler 440 gas engines. And while they were very effective back in the day, they were also extremely thirsty. So back in the 80s, the owner converted this boat to a pair of 320 horsepower Cummins. This was done at the Rybovich factory, much like the flybridge was. And the benefit of this, apart from looking gorgeous, I mean, you can eat off of literally anything in this engine room, is that you get great speed with very manageable fuel burn. This boat at 25 knots is only burning 22 gallons an hour. And if you look around, everything's just gorgeous down here. You could literally eat off of any surface. You have engine support and starboard. Directly to the aft of me is the genset. Outboard over here, you have your air conditioning, and you have a water heater over here. Again, it's a really, really simple boat. There's not a lot of systems. There's not a lot of electronics. It's a boat from a bygone era. But it's still totally really usable because of the major upgrades that this owner has made. Well, to wrap up, as you can see, this is a really, really beautiful boat. It's from a different era. It's beautiful in its simplicity. It does what it says on the label. It's been really, really well maintained and upgraded over the years. And, you know, the current owner has owned it for nearly a half a century. And that's the kind of stewardship this boat really deserves. So, you know, this is likely not going to be somebody's first boat, but for somebody that has really good taste and wants to bring a piece of history home with them. So until next time, I'm Tom with East Coast Yacht Sales, and I'll see you guys out on the water.